Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to Coffee Break. This is Dr. Michelle Alignay. It's Thursday. It's it's almost the last week of June, and we've been doing this for more than a year. But I would like to ask you, how positive have you become since this lockdown started, since pandemic started, and even when listening to Coffee Break? Because today I will discuss.
Thursday. It
I will discuss what we've been talking about the other day, and that it's about toxic positivity. So, if you have learned something about toxic positivity, please, by all means, share with me your learning so that I can check where we are so that I can continue our discussion since last Thursday. So, good afternoon again, friends. Thank you for the early birds who are joining me for this live. Share this to family and friends. Share your learning, share your insights that you've been learning in this lockdown and our journey to being positive but not positive in the virus. Okay, so magandang hapon ulit. Let me just sip. I think this is last of my pomegranate tea. Okay, so let me just hello everybody again. So let me just go through with you what we talked about last Tuesday. If you have watched our toxic positivity topic last Tuesday, what are the insights that you realize? Ano yung mga takeaway nyo? Ano yung mga naisip nyo? Ano yung mga bagay na sumagi sa isip nyo? Or ano yung a friend messaged me na parang, oh my, I am reflecting about this. Yes, there are just, you know, we might be in this trap of being toxic positive ourselves, or we might be also surrounded by people who are toxic positive. So let's plunge into that. And if you will remember, our discussion is the signs that we are coping in life through toxic positivity. But I would like you to reflect about our topic and and learn that not just what it's all about, but if we are a toxic positive person, we have a tendency to be so, and maybe it's time that we move out of it, and how we can acknowledge it, and then how can we help other people also if they are in this situation. So Belle, you're saying toxic positivity is denying one's negative emotions, not acknowledging it, ginagawa is shift agad. Yes, actually, yung ibang tao nga hindi na nag-shift. Ano na sila agad? Bina-bypass lang nila. So, there's no shift. Parang, ay, ayoko niyan. Talagang dismiss na yung dating. So, we know that being positive, there's nothing wrong with that. Being positive is all good, and we are all aiming for a positive disposition. We are aiming for a positive outlook in life. But what I would like you to realize is that being positive needs us to still balance. 'Di ba lahat ng sobra ay hindi maganda. So same thing with this. So again, for those of you who are just watching now, toxic positivity is bypassing. Yes, yes, Belle, that's bypassing the negative emotion, and we're bypassing the real emotion. Toxic positive is you don't want to look anymore. Ayaw mo nang tingnan, ayaw mo nang suriin, ni ayaw mo ngang titigan. Parang ayoko niyan, I don't want to deal with it. So parang when some people are, I have a problem, you tend to dismiss them. Na parang, ay, ayoko marinig yung problema mo. Ayoko masira yung araw ko. Have you encountered that? And then also parang, pag may problem in the family that needs to be discussed, mas-stress lang ang lahat, wag na natin pag-usapan yan, ipagdasal na lang yan. For me, that is really toxic positive. Why? Um, being positive is good, but if we are denying ourselves and our relationships, the people we love, of our true emotional experience, and that is what this emotional experience, and then that it's being toxic positive. That's not actually suppression, because suppression, you know that there is a negative emotion, itinago mo lang. Pero yung toxic positive, binaypass niya. So there's a big difference here, right? And also, the thing is with suppression, you deal with the problem by putting all your feelings in one basket. But not addressing the problem in itself, not even looking at it, not even trying to experience the feeling of being in that situation, that can make us toxic positive. Okay, may tanong agad, chess ka. What if to involve ka naman sa problems na iba? Kaso wala ka nang iniisip. Well, pwede naman yun kasi you tried to be there. That's not toxic positive because you try to be there and you're aware that there are problems. It's just that there are situations that we cannot put solutions right away. So maybe you are in that situation that hindi mo lang talaga maisip. We don't necessarily need to put solutions right away in anything because sometimes the minimum requirement is that we just try to be more uh, connected to who we really are. We are more aware of the experience. And that's what I would like us to look into this afternoon. So here, the opposite actually, may opposite ang toxic positive. Ang tawag dyan is yung negative interpretation bias. Yung lahat na nang nakikita mo sa tao pangit. Lahat na nang nakikita mo pangit. Parang lahat na isa ka na para ka ng troll farm na lahat na pinapatulan mo. So anything that mag-alert na may ginawa yung tao, may ginawa yung sitwasyon, you really, ito yung term sa Tagalog na nabubuyo ka na sa inis or sa galit. Have you been in that situation? That is negative interpretation bias. Tuloy-tuloy na yung bias mo with a situation, with a person. So, Pauline, I would answer that. How can you catch yourself if you're in a positive state? That's what we're going to talk about. So, we need to learn how to reverse um, positive toxic positivity. As I said, walang masama sa pagiging positibo, pero kung laging ito na lang yung solution mo, what's the big difference? A really positive, authentically positive person is someone who has a good disposition, who sees the silver lining, who sees hope, but they know I am in a bad shape. I acknowledge I'm having a hard time. Alam kong nahihirapan ako, naiinis ako, nagagalit ako, I'm grieving. They acknowledge the negative emotional state that they're in. They experience that fully. And then, but they see hope. Ang taong toxic positive, ayaw aminin na nahihirapan, ayaw aminin na nasasaktan, ayaw aminin na may problema. That's why you are toxic. Because, kumbaga, meron ka ng signs. For example, you have flu. There are already signs of flu, but you would like to pretend that there's nothing wrong. No, walang masama sa akin. Allergy lang yung sipon ko. Hindi makatilang yung lalamunan ko kasi napagod kahapon. So, you're denying that. But other people know na, hey, mag-isolate ka na because it might be flu, it might be something else. So why don't you look at it objectively? So here, a toxic positive person is bypassing all this for the sake of being positive. In actually, in the name of being positive, they are bypassing. Is that making sense with you, friends? Is that the real, that's real positivity and toxic positivity? Real positivity is that you are acknowledging the symptoms. I have flu. Oh my, I have colds. I have a bit of sore throat and I'm not feeling well. What is a positive person? Okay, I will do and help myself. I will take something that will help me. I will boost my immunity. I know this is not okay, but I'm not going to worry much about this. That's a true positive person. But a toxic positive is ayaw niyang aminin na may simptomas siya. Yun yung malaking pagkakaiba. Nasaan tayo dito, friends? Where are you? Do we tend to be toxic positive or do we tend to be truly positive? Okay, how can we reverse toxic positivity? The first one, this toxic positivity is actually a product of our programming. A product of, sadly, it's a product of how we are raised. For example, nung lumalaki tayo, hindi pinapansin ng parents natin o ng mga taong importante sa atin na nagpapalaki sa atin. Pag meron tayo, mami, may nambubuli sa akin, daddy, kailangan ko ng tulong kasi hirap na hirap po ako. Anong sabi sa'yo? Wala lang yan, sige, kaya mo yan. So, o kaya naman, mami, may nambubuli sa akin, ay, ko, ipag-pray na lang natin yan. So, they do not know how to tune in to your negative emotion. Pag-pray na lang natin yan, just always be happy. Be grateful that you have people around you. Be grateful that we are here with you. That's checking the programming. What is it that you are programmed with growing up? What is the root of your emotional response? So, in that line, parenting pa lang, lumaki ka na hindi mo hinaharap yung lungkot, for example. For example, classic lang. Parang, I am sad today or I am crying. You're crying as a child. And then the people around you cannot take it. They're uncomfortable with you crying or uncomfortable with you sad. And then what will say na, oh, maybe you just need chocolates to be happy. Oh, maybe we can eat something, but they never ask you what makes you sad because they are not comfortable with, and they don't even know how to name the emotions. Yun yung mahirap doon. That's why a family, supposed to be nurturing our emotional life, our emotion, teaching us about our emotional response. If we grow up in that kind, that or programming, it's not hindi in-acknowledge pag meron kang negatibo, puro happy na lang. Ito pamilya, to cool na cool, walang problema. Hindi yun, not all families who are very cool na parang walang problema ay walang problema. Yung iba, magaling magdala. Yung iba, hindi hinaharap yung problema. Doon ako nanggigigil. Kasi there are lots of families like that. And even if I personally ask them during trainings, do you have concerns or problems? They would say, wala naman kaming problema. Alam nyo, kahit na maliliit lang, kahit na may natumutulo lang dyan sa gripo nyo, or meron lang kayong financial constraint, at that particular moment, we have little struggles and we have little concerns. But the problem is that we don't want to admit that it's a concern for us. We don't want, and lalo na yung lalama kaming problema sa anak namin. Bakit siya nagkaganyan? So ako parang, kung nagkaganyan yung anak nyo, hindi kayo kinakausap at gustong lumayas ng anak nyo, or he or she, that the child may be in depression, it's actually a signal, not just of a simple concern, but actually a signal of something bigger. So I would like you to look into that. So here, check your programming. What is the root of your emotional response? Are emotions acknowledged in your family? Are you allowed to cry when you were little? Are you acknowledged to be sad when you were little? Are you acknowledged to grieve? Kung may namatay kang aso, may nawala kang gamit, pinabayaan ka bang umiyak, and your parents let you let you let feel with you and hold your hand during that emotional process. So that's for you to check with yourself. The second thing, how can we reverse toxic positivity? Teach. So the first one is check. The second is teach. Teach yourself emotions. Teach yourself to learn varied emotional vocabulary. For example, anong nararamdaman nyo ngayon? Can you share with me what's exactly you're feeling today? So you might be feeling, so sa inyo sad lang. It is actually just sad. There's a whole range of emotions. If you open your emoticons in your phone, all of them leads to a name. And that name is exactly the feeling that we need to learn. For example, are you really sad today? Or maybe you are just dismayed. Maybe you are just frustrated. Or maybe you are lonely. Or you are sober. Hindi ka naman malungkot, pero parang you just find it you're just very lethargic today. So it's varied. So nasaan ka today, friend? If you can name, this is teach. You have to teach yourself new emotional vocabulary. Kasi we need to learn how to label our emotions. So that's second. The first one is check your programming. The second, teach yourself new emotions, because teaching ourselves new emotions will actually help us connect to our inner emotional state that is very critical in moving out of toxic positivity. It's very critical actually for our mental health and emotional life. Okay, so another thing, do not judge your feeling. Friends, I will say this again. Do not judge your feeling. Bakit ko to sinasabi? Many people, we tend to be the so harsh whenever we're feeling bad. Kasi pag masaya tayo, ginajudge natin, huwag ka masyadong masaya, bukas iiyak ka. Pero naman, pag malungkot tayo, naku, hindi ako na dapat nalulungkot, blessed na ako. Hindi ako dapat na, hindi ako dapat na, hindi ako dapat, meron tayong dapat. But we have to acknowledge that those emotions are naturally occurring. Natural siyang nangyayari sa atin. So when we say na, I am just so sad today, Lord, help me. help me to get to know myself through this sadness. And then that is a better response to that. Do not judge your feeling, because when you start judging your feeling, you fail to look into the reason behind it. You fail to look into what is that emotion teaching you. And I always share with people, emotions point us to a need, an inner need. As you said, friend naman, na-advance ka na. Yes, I'm gonna tell you about that. All feelings are valid. And that's the fourth one. Third, do not judge yourself or your feeling. Fourth, emotions are valid. Why is that? We need to validate. So the first one is check, and then teach, and then third, do not judge. The fourth one is validate. You need to say, I am feeling this way. It's validating, and then saying, oh my, I am jealous. I am so disappointed. Di ba? Ang sarap ibigas. But it doesn't mean na magpapadala tayo sa galit or sa disappointment. I'm so disappointed at you, and then what did you, we get carried away. That's not the actual thing that we would like to learn. What we need to learn is to validate. Kasi yung totoo mong nararamdaman, no ifs, no buts. Walang masama, walang mabuti sa emosyon. There are no good and bad emotions. What emotions are not are amoral. There's no morality with emotions because they are actually our inner teachers. Emotions are given to us for us to have a more mature and more fulfilling life. But come to think of it, if you start invalidating your feeling, you invalidate yourself. You invalidate that moment when you need to learn something. So you have to tell yourself na, okay, I am so tired. I am so exasperated with this situation. That is validating yourself. You also can tell yourself na, oh my, for example, one time a friend told me, I am not worried about you, but I am sad for you. So that is actually validating where I am. I sorry, kala ko na wala na ako. Validating where I am. So there you go. So we need to learn that. We need to learn those things. We need to be able to see what is it this feeling wanting me to do and wanting me to say about myself. Or if you see somebody who's not feeling okay, I notice that you are sad. I notice that you're getting frustrated with this. It's also learning to, when we learn to validate our emotions, if you are a parent, you'll easily validate also the emotion of your husband or your wife, and especially with your kids. And it's teaching your kids that it's okay to feel. But the goal actually of these emotions, see, I'm talking about emotions now because toxic positivity is rooted on emotions. So the goal of a the goal is not us to have the goal is not for us to have always happy feelings, always positive feeling. The goal is actually about balance, emotional response. That's the goal. The big message I'm telling you is that we have to learn the messages that our emotions are sending us. So we have two choices in our emotions. Either we react or either we respond. Reaction is actually the one that is being moral. Kung sa galit mo, may sinampal ka, may binato ka, may minura ka, that is the reaction. But when we respond, we are cooperating with the situation and saying, what can I do to learn from this and how can I grow from this? It's something that can you are responding, it's actually merging and integrating a more purposeful and a more what do you call this? A more integrated and a more holistic view of emotion. So we'd rather learn a proper response rather than react. Yung react, yung parang, ano ba yan? Something to that effect. But when we respond, okay, what is it that we can do? What solutions we can look for? Yan. So here, do not undervalue the negative friends. What the problem with their culture, pag ayaw natin ng negatibo, pero mararamdaman mo ba yung saya kung hindi mo naramdaman na maging malungkot? So, we always would like to strive for the positive, yes, but without sacrificing and invalidating the negative. Another, you have to be grounded. We have to be grounded on our reality. Anong ibig ko sabihin dito? Um, we might be living in a false sense sorry. We might be living in a false sense of optimism Parang you are always positive. But deep inside you, you never really confronted the issue. I don't want to deal with these people. I don't want to deal with because they might be eating you already. That positivity is actually becoming a cover up of insecurities, cover up of problems, cover up of things that you don't want to deal with. Kasi mahihirapan lang ako, hindi ko na lang pansinin. It's like, sorry, you're just masking up the problem, but there is a bigger problem. Another thing, one thing that I would like to bust here, it's do not you do not need to be okay all the time. We do not need to be happy all the time. Hindi yan. Because what is more, I think, more appropriate is that we need to be more aware of where we are and then we move from that. That is positive. We need to be more grounded and from that difficulties and then we move out of it. Is that making sense to you, friends? Are you still here? Are you still listening to me? What I'm saying? Is that making sense to you? Okay, and my last point, I'll course with you three main points to toxic positivity. Keys to toxic positivity. If you are in this situation or if you are dealing with people who are, this is the three A's that I would like you to look into. One is acceptance. The first one is acceptance. Sabi nga, the only way through it is to go through it. Oh my God, I heard that so many times the past 2 weeks na wala nang ibang paraan kung hindi daanan mo. So let's look at it. Yung kasabihan, pag meron kang pinagdadaanan, ang sinasabi, di ba? Pag meron kang pinagdadaanan, daanan mo lang, wag mong tambayan. Can I tweak it? Kung meron kang pinagdadaanan, pagdaanan mong mabuti, wag mong tambayan, pero alamin mo kung ano ang itinuturo sa'yo ng daan. There is beauty in the progress. There is beauty in the journey. It's not about where we're going, but it's actually the lessons that we're catching in the process. Kung meron kang pinagdadaanan, wag mong tambayan, pero dapat mong matutunan lahat ng pwede sa iyong dadaanan. So we have to learn. It's acceptance. Be present and accepting of your reality. Huwag mong baguhin yung realidad. Don't give yourself a false sense of security, a false sense of optimism, na parang don't mask up. People who mask themselves, people na nagkukunyari, na ayaw aminin, alam niyo sila yung mas maraming mental health crisis later on. Sila yung mas maraming relationship crisis. So please, acceptance is the only way through it. The second one, acknowledge. You have to acknowledge your emotions. What I taught you, it's actually acknowledging your emotions. Kung naiinis ka, go and mainis ka. Kung frustrated ka, go and be frustrated. Kung nagagalit ka at that moment, tell yourself, nagagalit na ako. Sabay ngiti. Pero hindi mo dininay na nagagalit ka, and that's really awesome. And the third, allow allow being in a toxic positive situation to teach you something. We have to learn that there are always two sides of the coin, the good and the bad. There are dark nights and there are mornings. There are days when I think this is in Ecclesiastes that there's a time for everything, a time to mourn and a time to be joyful. There's a time for everything. There's a time also for spring and then there's a time for fall. Wala tayo dito noon pero may tag-ulan, may tag-araw, may tag-tuyot at meron tayong tag-ulan. So, isipin natin laging may dalawang bagay. Meron hindi maganda, kahit hindi natin gusto, tanggapin natin yung hindi maganda. Kasi kasama yun sa proseso. Remember, life is not a box of chocolate. Like, life is a package. Like the promo package that you get. Sometimes in that package, yesterday I received a package. Tomorrow I'll be part of this media launch of a supplement company. And then I really like their products. What they sent me is supplements on my supplements, vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin D, everything that we need for COVID. And then there's one supplement na, aanihin ko to, I don't take this. So, pero tuwan-tuwa ako sa the rest. So, a package is just like that. Life is like that. Meron tayong, oh my God, this is really nice, I really need it. But meron isa na parang, I'll think about if I'm gonna take it. I'll think about if I'm gonna use it, but you just cannot refuse the package altogether because we are given already the best parts there. It's just that there are additional that good to have or maybe hindi mo talaga natin gusto pero nandun din yung gustong gusto natin. So laging ganun siya. Life is a package. Either we love it or we don't love it. But the beauty of life is that we make the most out of it. And that is the true positivity. True positivity is making the most out of life despite all. True positivity is actually choosing the better portion even though there are imperfections. Diba? True positivity is actually living in the moment despite the fact that there are challenges. Living and making the most of the now, despite that there are challenges in our way. So there you go. What do you want for yourself, friends? Lahat kayong nandito, can you put that in the comment? What do you want? Do you want to be toxic positive or you want to be truly positive? Can you put that in the comment? What are your learnings for today? Next week, because of the emotions topic that we are having this week, next week I would be discussing with you uh, balancing our emotions because I feel that it's very connected to our topic. So please put there in your comment section here at Coffee Break your learnings for today. And I would like to make an announcement. Don't forget again to join us at the Jewels Conference. I am so excited about the Jewels Conference. This is a conference for women. Kung wala pa kayong ticket, go to www.jewelsconference.com and get tickets. And I would repeat again, I am running a promo in Michelle Alignay page. So if you answer what are your learnings in coffee break there at the Michelle Alignay page, and there's a post there about the Jewels conference, you can put that in the you can put there your comments to be able to qualify for the raffle that we're going to do. So that's the second. And then the third, I would like to announce that we have the promo for the books that I have that is you know, yung libro ko, Family Goals, Embracing the Imperfections of Family Life. That's actually being not toxic positive. Embracing the Imperfections of Family Life. And the other one, kailangan nating mga ladies yon, The Beauty of 40 and Wrapping the Gift of Midlife. I'm running a promo in the page. So the page, it has also the details. If you go to Facebooks, you can use the promo code Dr. Michelle. If you're gonna get two books, you'll get a discount. You'll be discounted, I think, 100 pesos. In case that you might want signed copies of my book, in case you want, you can email me directly. You can message directly the Michelle Alignay page, and then you can get the books directly from me, the signed copies, and then I can ship it wherever you are. Okay. So lastly, please, friends, support me here at Coffee Break by sending your digital gifts through stars. We need the stars to be able to support the Coffee Break that I do here in Coffee Break and to support the missions that I do. And starting July, I'm going to be very deliberate in asking for stars because it's my way also to raise funds for my favorite mercy ministry of the Light of Jesus. And I'll tell you, I am supporting two ministries, and that is I'll announce it this July. But there are two ministries that I regularly give, even without me asking for anyone, but from my own my 10% that all my earnings go to them, go to the ministry that I support. And that's what I would like to do with the stars. It's our way for us to support Coffee Break, and it's a way for us to support other people also. So please send your love by sending stars, and send your love to other people by sending them and sharing with them this episode of Coffee Break. Please do not forget to subscribe to Michelle Alignay here on Facebook. And if you have hindi yata to alam ng madami, I also have the Coffee Break in YouTube. So you can also subscribe in Coffee Break with Dr. Michelle in YouTube. And more importantly, you can also listen to this at Spotify via podcast. Ayun, friends, we are done. We are done exactly at 1:30, and I'm praying that each of us will move towards being truly positive, not toxic positive, because it's the only way to grow better this pandemic and beyond. This is Dr. Michelle Alignay. I pray that each of us will grow better in our well-being, family life, and faith. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat.